Julie, track line always 3 to the sky on a 3 mile.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Tonight's going to be a night where we focus mostly on the arrivals. Runway is set to close once again at about 7 p.m. and I didn't want to do what we did last week, shut the show down and move to the other side. So tonight a little bit different. We're going to focus on the arrivals more than the departures. We'll still have our Air France as well as American here. So again, good evening, everybody. Big news out of RDU today. So interesting stuff here, getting Aer Lingus next year, April the 13th. Looking at the schedule, Aer Lingus will be arriving after the big heavy departures. So that'll be something to keep us going. Something that looks like it's only going to be on the ground for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, possibly 3. But looking at the schedule, it looks decent. Looks like it's going to leave around 8:55, 9 o'clock, somewhere around in there next year. So again, April 13th for their inaugural arrival. We'll try to do our best to be out here for that, of course, as we always typically try to do.
326, right, are you ready? Okay, 5 minutes ready. Track 326, come lighting 110, runway 5, right, clear for takeoff.
So as you guys can see, we are exactly on the south end of the parking garage. I thought we were going to have the 2-3s today, but sadly they changed right before I got here. So unfortunately, once again, we're dealing with the 05s, 5 left, 5 right tonight. So I tried to set up in such a way where we don't have to move mid-show. Runway closure expected around 7 p.m. as been the routine here for the last couple of weeks, and will continue on up into October. Runway and taxiways here undergoing maintenance. 5 left, 2-3 right here. So Wednesday nights they close them down here, so we again trying to keep you guys going here this evening without having to pick up and move. Again, it's not going to be that exciting because obviously the only location I have you can't see a whole lot too well, but we're going to make do this evening. Thought long and hard about it. I got here really early and I was like, you know, should I start over here and then move? Last week we lost a lot of viewers when we did that, so I didn't want to do that again. Yeah, Paris is still here. Paris getting ready to leave here shortly. No movement out of them yet. They'll be departing their normal time, as well as American right here. Looks like American getting ready to go as we speak. Looks like the gate's getting ready to possibly move. So again, good evening everybody. Big news out of the airport, of course, today with the news of Aer Lingus. Due to set for their inaugural April the 13th next year. Will be the XLR, sadly, the A321 XLR, but dang it, we're going to be fighting with this pole all night, aren't we, the light fixture.
326, contact departure.
At least for the taxi outs here.
Airliner 4-5 shot golf. When you're able to turn left, heading 320. West 320, 994 shot golf.
Thank you, Christopher Brown. For the super chat for 99.
American 1904, we pass inbound for 5 left. American 1904, runway 5 left.
Man, I gotta say, you talking about flat rate work, man. I don't know if you're having issues like we are, but flat rate right now is just, well, we're not getting paid as technicians.
Southwest 442, right down, fly runway heading runway 5 right, clear for takeoff.
Runway head, quick takeoff 5 right.
You would be cleared for takeoff already. As you can see, maybe here, hold on. Gate pushed back from the American 777 there. We'll pick up Southwest here in a minute. We've got a couple of Southwest movements over here now. We are going to be fighting that light pole, unfortunately. Again, tonight's going to be more about the arrivals more than the departures. Again, with runway closures affecting our positioning, along with the fact that we're on the 5s once again. Prefer to be on the 2-3s. They were on the 2-3s most of the day. Just driving along. United took off over my head on 540. So again with the 5s, it is just that time of the year where the 05s are in use. So Southwest getting after it. Getting out of here, American 174 Heavy, ready to go. Do have our first arrival of the show, American Airlines 1904 from Charlotte. It's going to be an A321. Yeah, we as flat rates not
turn left heading 035 and contact departure with you.
Not having a good couple of months here. The entire month of August was not good for us.
Heading 035, runway 5 right, clear for takeoff. 035, 5 right, clear to go 667.
There we go. American 174 Heavy pushing back here. Let's see. Air France has still yet to move. So again, I do apologize. No departure action really tonight due to viewing constraints, unfortunately. Had to do what we could do here to get things set up.
Stay with you and then call ramp tower for entry, is that correct? It's all correct, American 1904 with you. Thanks, good night.
It was actually so somebody noticed we do have ATC back finally. I ordered a radio. Was that yesterday? Yes, I ordered a radio yesterday morning at 7:30, and or at 7 o'clock yesterday morning. By 7:45, it had already shipped. It arrived at my house. I don't know what time it arrived at my house, but it was between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. So very quick with the radio.
Southwest 667, contact departure, good day. South 667.
Hopefully everything sounds good where it's all located here. All the sound, the mix of my voice and what's going on down below. And of course you guys know we'll mute myself so you guys can enjoy the sound of the trends here in just a moment. Yep, Beanie Baby, 777-200, getting ready to go back to London. We have the 787 Dreamliner today, I believe, back to Paris. We'll see that departure here in just a moment. Flight level 77, good afternoon. Again, good afternoon, well, evening everybody. Hope you guys have all had a wonderful start to your work week here. Again, if you guys are just joining us once again, this episode of the show is going to be more about arrivals than departures. Due to the fact that the runway's closure is going to affect a lot of things here tonight, so I wanted to make sure we were right in the middle as best as possible. So, may or may not be good. I didn't want to pick up and move at mid-show like we did last weekend, or last week, so hopefully you guys enjoy the show. Glad we were able to get you guys some ATC back fairly quickly. I was really surprised at how quick that radio came. So, gonna find out how good these rechargeable batteries are in it. May have to buy some other rechargeable batteries. It's no big deal. We just plug it in to our power station here. I got lucky. I already had a cable for it. Enjoy the trends. SEPT-17-2025 AT. It's the same one we had before, the one that fell off the building, or off the parking garage here one time before. I'll show you guys the radio here in just a moment. Down here just below us starting up. That's why you're not hearing the 777 as well as we'd like. The 777 nonetheless on the move.
1998 heading 035, contact departure. Okay. 4563, turn left heading 035, runway 5 left, clear for takeoff. 035, clear go, here we go, big 4563. American 174 heavy, Raleigh, runway 5 left, line up and wait. 5 left, line up and wait, American 174 heavy.
So again, if you guys are just joining us, a little bit different here. Our view is a little bit obstructed tonight due to the fact that we are going to have a runway closure here at about 7 o'clock this evening. So you guys are interested in the radio here, so I was able to figure out how to get it plugged in. Here the cable is hanging off of it, but give you guys a quick
174 heavy, runway heading, contact departure, every day.
Quick look here. So this is this is our radio here.
Raleigh Tower, good evening, November 313.
So if you guys are
Juliet, coming up on
interested in the radio there, I had one like it before, and it Well, it fell off the parking garage.
967 Charlie, Crossway Durham, previous departure was a heavy Boeing 777, turn left heading 035, runway 5 left, clear for takeoff. 035 on the heading, 5 left, clear for takeoff, Delta 967.
Alright, so this arrival here, this is Southwest 1901 coming in from Atlanta. 55 minutes of flight time. See, I just got a text message about the runway closure. It will be closing at 7 p.m. An official message. So you go Southwest, touching down. Air France is pushed back already. They're about ready to go. Again, not going to have a whole lot to look at tonight when there's no arrivals or departures tonight. Again, can't be helped, like I said, due to the runway closures on up until October.
Delta 967, flighting 035, contact commercial. Push it off, 967. Appreciate Julie, go ahead. Yeah, any chance I can get the stand runway heading, check some down on the ground before we proceed direct to Big Greenville? You wanted to hold the runway heading so you could check something on the ground as you climb down? Hey, firm, sir, that's correct. That's fine, I'm going to put you on the runway heading.
Hey, Matt Man, good evening.
You can keep the runway heading, that's all I have. Appreciate it. 313 Juliet, fly runway heading, runway 5 right, clear for takeoff. Runway heading, runway 5 right, clear for takeoff. 313 Juliet.
There's a little exec jet over there ready for departure. Swing over there while we wait for the Dreamliner's arrival. The exec jet gonna lift off early. Oh, I can't see my screen anymore.
Over departure, see you later, 3 Juliet.
Yeah, Matt Man, that'll be starting in April. April 13th will be their inaugural arrival, which means I need to figure out what day that's on. I know we got a lot of time here.
693 Tango Heavy, Raleigh Tower, good evening, thank you, I'll call you in just a moment.
So that's a Monday, April 13th, 2026. So we'll do our absolute best to be out here. Debbie Ann, good evening. Daniel, good evening. Flying Delta Sunday from Fayetteville to Atlanta to Syracuse. Nice. All right, I hear our Dreamliner.
There are 700 Pop Alpha right there, guys, when you're ready. 700 Pop Alpha. November 700 Pop Alpha, turn landing 110, only 5 right, clear for takeoff. Air France 693 Tango Heavy, fly runway heading, only 5 left, clear for takeoff. Airport 6903 Tango, clear to line up and take up runway 5 left, runway heading up for takeoff.
Again, apologies about the departures here tonight. Air France getting off the ground safely. Again, runway due to close here in just a few minutes. So therefore, we are set up on the south end, which is something we don't ever do usually.
Air France 693 Tango.
It's really hard for both sides either way. So again, I didn't want to have to pick up and move mid-show right there at 7 o'clock. So we sacrificed the departures here tonight, unfortunately. So the runway you're looking at will close at 7 p.m. I did get an official word from the airport here, or from a friend of ours here. All right, next arrival is going to be Southwest 2296. Coming in from Dallas Love's Field.
1891, Raleigh Tower, runway 5 left, flight runway heading clear for takeoff. Runway 5 left, flight.
Matt, man, it'll be 5 days here to RDU from Dublin. So 5 days a week. Going to arrive right after these two leave, after the American 777 and Air France, from what I can gather. Be the A321 XLR, which we all knew was going to happen, unfortunately. No A330s for us.
West 2296, welcome to the Orcon takeoff on that. We're going to have up my unit.
Alright, so we're at A319. Ready to roll. We've got FedEx 785 coming in from Memphis, Tennessee. That 767-300 here shortly. I saw somebody getting ready to pop out over there. Hang out with this E175 here for a minute while I try to give you guys some more flight info. FedEx 785 coming in from Memphis, arriving now in just 15 minutes. Hey, ERB, good evening. mean, I haven't seen anything about that, Justin. I think it would be okay. I don't mind the Dreamliner. I kind of wish they would bring the A350, but then you have 3 big airlines fighting over the same gate, so you can't do that. So they have to stick to either the A340, the A330, which they currently bring, or a 787 Dreamliner in order to accommodate them all over there. Air France still making American push, as you guys saw at the beginning of the show. American Airlines over here on the D gates. They're still forcing them to taxi over here to the other side. So they, we'll see what they do. I know the A340 is going to be really big coming up fall time. So hopefully after the next couple of weeks here, again this weekend, we should be here on Sunday, but I will be out of town Saturday. The Saturday that the 27th and 28th, we're still in the talks about going to Charlotte for a Sunday show. That Saturday I have a wedding, so trying to give you guys some Saturday shows here. Just gotta find some time. Again, because Saturdays have been my consecutive day to get things done and do things, making that transition over to Saturdays is a little difficult. So we got at least 2 more weeks before we transition over to try to do some Saturday shows for you guys. Then again, like I said, Sunday possibility, not this Sunday, but the next possibility could be Charlotte. I got some personal things going on again, so it'll be hit or miss. We'll see what happens. We were lucky we were able to work out Saturday to head to Virginia for the air show. So again, some personal things going on here. Don't know for how long. So again, like I said, we're trying to get you guys Saturday shows. Just taking us some time. Thank you, ERB. 73 likes. Make sure if you guys haven't smashed the like button yet, please do so. Let's see, who do we got on final here? Looks like we've got Endeavor 5184 coming in from LaGuardia.
Raleigh Tower, November 992, Foxtrot Golf, left base 32. 992, parts to go, flight tower, runway 32, cleared to land, wind 06006, multiple arrivals, parts to runway 5, right 5 left. Foxtrot Golf. Took a lap off runway 32, 992, Foxtrot. Raleigh Tower, good evening, United 2485 on that 05 left. Okay, 2485 right tower, runway 5 left, clear to land with 06006, be advised from full arrival, runway 32. Roger, clear to land, 5 left.
So Endeavor 5184 touching down. Looks like we've got a United ready for pushback. Here, again, Endeavor coming in from LaGuardia. Looks like our next arrival is going to be United Airlines 2485. Again, they should be transitioning runways here in just a few minutes. Move to the other side. They got about 30 minutes or so. Daniel, I am going to Oceana, the air show this weekend. Jonathan, good evening. Smoky start for the United there. Smoky start for the Max. I don't even have to see it. I know it's a Max. You can hear it. Been calling them the Mad Max here lately with the sound. Sounding so angry. So, United 2485 coming in from Newark, New Jersey, up there next to Raleigh. It's going to be that, the A319. What do you mean? Like, come up and hang out with me while I do the show? Oh, you wanna film plane? Yeah. That's not a big deal. Yeah, they don't get angry usually for people coming up and filming planes. A couple of folks, father and son, that come up here, and they're up here every Sunday. I don't know if they watch the show or not on Wednesdays. If they do, you guys know who I'm talking about. They're up here every Sunday, and he records some of the arrivals, departures, takes photos of the specials and such. So they make a day out of it and come up and hang out, which is good. Nice touchdown there for the United A319 from Jersey. As we await the Max's departure. Alaska Airlines bringing the Max 9 tonight. I don't know if they'll leave tonight or not. Speaking of Maxes and such, where is... There's Iceland Air. Ice 821, still 53 minutes out. They're going to be mad. They're coming in a Max 9. Iceland, never happy when we have to land on the other runway. I like to fuss about it. So hopefully this evening we'll get to catch some of their fussing. So let's see. But that radio is loud, isn't it? So the race is on. Looks like we're going to have Endeavor 5150 from JFK here in just a minute. We also have the FedEx 785. Scheduled to arrive in a minute. So, Batman, that's going to be for the Cancun flight over the winter. I don't know if that'll hold true through spring and summer next year, but as of right now, it looks like that's going to be a wintertime deal at the moment. We'll still have Mexico City. I think that'll stay with Aeromexico Connect, the E190. Don't think I've ever, even just doing recordings and stuff, I don't think I've actually ever sat up or set up at this portion of the parking garage, because it's never been that great. Again, we set up here because of the runway closure coming here in about 20 minutes or so. Yeah, so that'll be it'll be on a Max 8 for the Cancun flight. I'm not sure exactly why they're doing that. I have absolutely no idea. But good to see that we'll have a little more variety here with Aeromexico. Hopefully it'll stick. expecting the sun to come out.
Yeah, 5150 right side, runway 5 left, clear to land, wind, 05005. Yeah, 1769, right side, you guys ready? We are 1769. Yeah, 1769, that's 5 mile final, we'll go away, runway 5 left, fly, heading 035, clear 4 takeoff. Just pick up 5 left, I'm heading 035, Canada, 1769. Endeavor 5151, departure flight route, taking all way to speed.
One lone E175 chilling over here. Do have that CRJ coming in here momentarily. I'll give you that flight information here for United. But Endeavor 5150 coming in from JFK, 1 hour 30 minutes of flight time for the little E17 or the CRJ 900 here.
Yeah, 1769 heading 035, contact departure of next flight. R39 1769, Zeus 21, see the governor, see if taxi will have anything. Airline 911, go for tower, runway 32, clear to land, 04005, 5 multiple options, departure runway 5 right, 5 left. 32 clear to land, 100 off. 785 heavy to approach 5 left. 785 heavy, always out runway 5 left, clear to land, wind 04005.
So there you go, you got it. FedEx 785 cleared to land.
FedEx 785 heavy, flat hold to the end.
That 767 still wheels up as they make their way around. So we'll keep an eye here on FedEx.
Yeah, 5150 revenue with umbrella contact on 4908.
No, nothing significant tonight. None that I know of anyway. We've got our last heavy arrival of the evening with FedEx here. already had our 777 and Dreamliner departures here this evening. I think WestJet has stopped their Wednesday evenings as well already. We caught them, what, 3-4 times? I didn't see WestJet last week or this week, unfortunately. Beautiful shot of FedEx. Stunning shot of FedEx, in fact. Be a nice touchdown there for the 767. That may be one of the last arrivals over here of the night. Again, if you guys are just joining us, this runway, they touched down on getting ready to close here at 7 p.m. Hence why we've given up on all of the departures this evening. Trying to catch as many of the arrivals as possible. We didn't want to move mid-show. So, like we had to last week. Yeah, I couldn't have asked for any better weather this evening. Nice and cool. Perfect weather conditions for doing a show, plane spotting, whatever you may be doing outside this evening. Absolutely perfect out here for that. Chris, good evening. Again, good evening, everybody. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Trying to get to 200 this evening. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. We've got the CRJ down here below us, making all kinds of racket, hard for me to talk over. Yeah, and some of the some of the trees have already started to change colors too, so I notice it every day, little by little, as we on the way up here. And that is an amazing shot right there. I hope that looks as good on TV as it does on camera. I know it's just a little E175, but what a shot. Will I be live September 30th? Hold on. Tuesday, 12, no. Unfortunately, no. Any days throughout the week, our start time is usually 6 p.m. You did say September. Yeah, September 30th now. That's a Tuesday. So sadly, no. Unfortunately, weekday shows generally start 6 p.m. I'd like to be out here more. So again, good evening everybody. Hope you guys are all doing well once again. You guys are just joining us again. Focusing on mostly arrivals this evening. We're going to have some short shots of departures here. When this runway closes here in a few minutes, it's going to be, you might have a frustrated host. I won't be angry, but I'll be frustrated. All these light poles and trees and things in the way for 5 right. Again, there's nothing we can do. Nothing we can do about it. You know, again, I thought maybe today would have been our lucky day. We would have been on the 2-3s, but unfortunately not. Yeah, I sorry about that. Again, I do have a full-time job, so do this more or less as a hobby thing. Sundays I'm out here. Wednesdays, again, 6 p.m. Wish this CRJ would hurry up and park. I feel like I'm yelling over this CRJ. Even if I were to turn the ambient audio down, I still feel like I'm yelling. Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys enjoy the show. I'm glad we're able to come out here, bring you guys some shows, hang out, talk aviation, food, cars, etc. Whatever you guys are chit-chatting about there. Beautiful shot of Southwest moving across, ready for taxi. If you guys are just joining us, you'll see right here, 5 right is, well, this is why we don't do shows for 5 right. See all the stuff in the way. But again, nothing can be done. I can't help the winds and I can't help the runway closures. As a matter of fact, we should see them here shortly. Coming out to shut down the runway. So this is Delta 3246 coming in from Atlanta, Georgia. This is an A321 at 200. 55 minutes of flight time. So a short hop from Atlanta to here. Hopefully tonight Mother Nature will be nice to us and I can bring you guys the sunset show that many of you guys enjoy. Finally, this CRJ is gonna get a move on here. Yes, ERB. So we do have the. So you see the sign. Hold on. So you've got Aviation Parkway here, just to the south of the airport here. You've got the reservoir over there. Then the reservoir runs into the highway and extends over here just on the other side of all of that construction going on there. And if you guys, any of you guys are from the area or have been through, you've probably seen that they had that reservoir drawn way down. Like they drained it sometime last week. Mother Nature's already going to try and start putting on a show, and it's not even time for sunset just yet. Getting international. Yeah, so ERB, I saw a thing about that this morning, or this afternoon. They're talking about trying to go international, and I think that's what's caused them to make all these big changes that they've made. The problem, I feel, is how many people are going to really look to Southwest to go international? I don't know, because then Southwest is going to lose their cheap airline status, right? I mean, I know they're not that cheap, but they're considered one of the cheaper airlines. But I feel like they're losing that status. Oh yeah, we'll see Iceland tonight. As a matter of fact, we were talking about Iceland a moment ago. Southwest 276, that MAX 8 off to St. Louis. That one we saw a moment ago. So here's what we're going to see right here. They're going to do exactly what we're going to see here for the rest of the evening. Republic Airways 4596 coming in from Nashville, Tennessee, as we get the song of the A220 here. Coming in from Nashville, Tennessee here in just a minute. But what's going to happen is they're all going to come up and go up the hill right here. If they don't go up the hill on the other end. Again, runway closure is inevitable. It's going to happen here in about 4 minutes. They're going to start shutting down the runway this one's about to land on. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, about Southwest doing their thing. I hope they don't lose a lot of people, but when they started got rid of the 2 check bags thing, I feel like they lost a lot of their main flyers, right? So I can't see them doing international and making it help them. But I don't think it'll be a bad thing, to be honest. I just you know. And Mattman's right. JetBlue serving Europe. Thank you, Eddie. Again, I apologize once again for this. We've got this light fixture right in the way. I didn't actually realize it when I set up. Otherwise, I probably could have moved over just a hair more, probably over a parking spot here, and done that. But, like I said, limited on options here this evening. Hopefully Sunday, everything will return to semi-normal here. Runway closures expected on into October.
Targeting 760 Papa visual approach 5 right. 760 Papa right, targeting continue runway 5 right, that will go in position. 5 right, 760
Thank you, Christopher Brown. Recently read that Airbus is considering the A350-2000. good, that probably would be good for them. I'm really hoping that we do receive more A350s here in the future. I do love the A350. A350, definitely one of my favorite planes along with the A220s. But I like all. I think there's only one large wide body that I'm not too keen on. And a lot of you guys already know it, but it's the A330. There's something off about the A330 in my eyes. I don't know. It just doesn't look streamlined. It doesn't look, I don't know. There's just something off about the A330. I don't know if you guys have that same opinion about the A330. Granted, I love all wide bodies, but that one just looks odd. All right, I got an A320 below me starting up. I'm gonna mute my mic here. Missed that, didn't I? Dang, missing out on a great shot of the A220 here. We'll catch its slight departure. Again, like I said before, tonight is about arrivals as opposed to departures. Not going to see too many of the departures regardless. Make sure that we would still be able to see our heavies, our heavy departures here. So that was the other reason for our setup location here.
Number 5 Victor Whiskey, reduce to 1 first speed. Slow in the 5, low first speed, South Avenue.
Hey, there's our party jet, tri-jet. We saw their Boeing business jet on last Sunday, Sunday before. I always enjoy seeing their stuff, SAS down there at the end. Got a couple of movements over here. We do have that American Eagle over on the other side, but Frontier and Delta trying to get their stuff sorted here. Mrs. Carolina gifting 5 Carolina Aviation memberships. Dario, Roy, Jess, Dale, David, all gifted memberships. Thank you to Mrs. Carolina there. Thank you. Good evening, Pip. Hope you're doing well. What's up, buddy?
November 5 Victor Whiskey, wind 0405, runway 5 right, settle in. Settle in and runway 5 right, South Avenue. 5322, wind 0405, runway 5 right, settle in. 5 right, clear line, there.
So again, everybody will head up the hill here. I don't know if I can move. I was going to see if I could move over just a little bit, but I don't know if that's even going to be enough. Moving over to get that lamppost out of our view there.
Circle 4742, contact departure.
So, we were talking about Iceland, JetBlue, that JetBlue departure, JetBlue 2184 off to Boston, Mass. 1 hour, 29 minutes expected. That was on that A220-300. We've got a whole line of planes coming in from the northeast. ICE 821 coming in from Reykjavik. Arriving now in about 17 minutes. Frontier 3313 is going to be in front of that. Clark W, the Grizzly. Got another Delta racing out here for the to head up the hill. I doubt it. I honestly doubt Southwest will come off of Airbus. Off of Boeing's. That's all they've ever flown, as far as I know, has been the 737. It's easier and cheaper to keep their pilots up to snuff and trained. You know, you get all the airlines with all different aircraft. It's harder to keep your. It's more expensive to keep your pilots up to date on all of the aircraft. They've got to go through their certifications, recertifications, all that type of stuff. So I doubt Southwest will move away from Boeing. Will they add anything else? Maybe, but I don't know.
Traffic 6 miles follow, runway 5 right, line up away. 5 right, line up away, French flight 1039.
Alright, so Frontier ready to go.
5322, turn left at Charlie ground point 9. Charlie ground point 9, over 312, get ready. Thanks, you too.
Yeah, I think maybe taking a couple of steps here after Frontier's departure here to try to alleviate some of the lamppost here.
Flight 1039, 5 runway heading, wind 040.
Didn't even pay attention to that, and we should be able to be free to move now because the runway is closing.
404, wind 0406, runway 5 right, clear to land. Clear to land, runway 5 right, 404.
So there it is. Construction, the fleet of construction equipment hitting the runway here. They haven't put the big X up yet, or did they? Did they move it? It may be further down as Frontier gets a move on here. Alright, I'm going to try to move a couple of paces to the right. Shouldn't have any issues with any cords. Gonna go for a bumpy ride here for a moment. That didn't really help. Didn't do much for us. I have to move over like 2 more parking spaces, I feel like, to be rid of that lamppost.
Raleigh Tower, 89 Mike, airport sign. November 89 Mike, Raleigh Tower, Roger, continue runway 5 right and see a couple departures prior to your arrival. Roger, continue 5 right, 89 Mike. Delta 2699, Raleigh Tower, runway 5 right, line of way, check your traffic, 6 miles follow. 5 right, line of way, Delta 2699.
Nice touchdown for the American CRJ. As the two Deltas get ready for their departure.
404 left on Charlie, ground point 902.
So Frontier 1039 off to Orlando.
404.
PSA 5404 coming in from Washington, D.C. That was that last arrival there. There's the big flashing X.
2699, fighting 035, wind 0406, runway 5 right, clear for takeoff. Heading 035, 5 right, clear for takeoff, Delta 2699. Delta 2496, Charlie 5, runway 5 right, line of weight, Cherokee traffic, 4 mile follow. Line of weight 5 right, Delta 2496.
Hey, Robbie. So another Delta lining up behind that one. This is the masked Neo. I didn't even realize it when it was headed up the hill. We got the A320 Neo, A321 Neo.
2496, fighting 035, wind 0506, runway 5 right, clear for takeoff. Runway 5 right, wind 0506, clear touch and go, caution wake, so let's depart in Airbus. Clear touch and go, caution wake, cover you, step down line, 5 right.
Big flashing X, none of us like to see, unfortunately. So that first Delta 2699 off to Minneapolis. Delta number 2, that A321 Neo. They're headed to Salt Lake City, Delta 2496.
Delta 2496, contact departure, see you later. 2496.
No, Airbus has completely killed the A380. As far as I know, that portion of their factory is being utilized for other aircraft manufacturing, like the A320 and the A321s. I should have left the camera down there. We've got a few more minutes here before the sunset. We do have another Delta A321. So ERB, the big X, is to indicate that the runway is closed.
Desert turn right heading 110 and maintain 2000 or maintain VFR below 2000.
Pilots can see the light flashing. They know the runway's shut down for the evening. There wasn't a whole lot of action on this runway even throughout the day. I was watching it a little bit in anticipation of the closure tonight. Yeah, so I don't know if you saw their ERB, but it flashes. That way, like I said, so the pilots can see when they're trying to come in. Looks like the sunset's going to be hindered a little bit tonight. Looks like it's going to fall behind some clouds off to the west. So enjoy the sunset here, what little bit we're going to have of it. Normally, you know, we try to catch it all the way down to the horizon there. Guess they'll have a lot of staging going on over here this evening. So let's check on flight radar here, see who our next arrival is going to be. So it looks like Iceland at the moment is going to be number 3 for arrival. Frontier 3313 is going to be our next arrival from LaGuardia. They still have about 6 minutes left. They are just downwind of us here. Sun's not shining on it, so I couldn't really see it.
Heading 0355 right, clear to go, go point.
So it's going to be a mixed bag here. Looks like we've got Delta 508 coming in from Los Angeles. It's going to be one of our next arrivals here. It looks like they are going to beat out Frontier. So that'll put Iceland at number 4 right now for arrival. Currently 1 minute for the 737-900 from Los Angeles. Followed by a whole bunch of other planes. It's about 5 or 6. It's Delta, that A321 that we saw going up the hill already getting a move on here. Aviation edits. Definitely excited about the news about Aer Lingus. It's all been speculated for a long time that Aer Lingus would make their way up here, but now that it's finally here, now we can finally start debating on a different airline. Aer Lingus has been in the chatter for a really, really long time about being the next airline. Finally, we got Aer Lingus. So now we'll have to figure out what other airlines we can get rumors about. There you go, nice 2-for-1 shot. There's Frontier, just behind Delta.
Like that, go badass. I'm on final, 5 right. What's your plan? 3330 right there, wind 0505, runway 5 right, clear line. I think so, I am,
Yeah, sadly, it will be the A321 XLR. I know we're all excited about a new airline, but it is only an XLR. You guys know my thought process or thoughts about the XLRs. Yeah, Scott, I'll need one by next year. Hopefully we have enough memberships by next year so we can add a couple more emojis. So if you guys didn't know, the memberships is what dictates how many emojis we get for you guys. So the more members we have, the more emojis we're allowed. Nice smooth touchdown for Delta 508 from Los Angeles. Yeah, I don't know about Southwest doing any international flights from here. I don't think they'll save that for like BWE and BWE actually. Is that the only? That's the only hub they have, isn't it? Is Baltimore on the East Coast, right? Chicago Midway, Dallas Loves, LAX, BWE. I think BWE is their only one there. So Frontier 3313, that one closest, coming in from LaGuardia, A321-200 Neo, followed by what you guys saw was Delta 2782 coming in from Boston, Mass. That one an A220-100. There's our A220-100 we've been talking about. Hey, Aviation LAA, what's up? Celebrating 11 months. So 1 hour, 25 minutes of flight time here for Frontier Airlines. This is Clark W, the Grizzly Bear.
1592 right tower, good evening, continue runway 5 right.
Delta, our next arrival. Coming in from Boston. So again, if you guys haven't yet smashed the like button, please do that as well. Trying to get to 200 likes this evening. Hope you guys are enjoying the ATC, the return of ATC. I did finally buy a radio, as you guys can hear. Trying to see how long it'll last. It's been on since about 5:30. So it looks like it's holding steady here at 2 hours so far. This shot of Iceland Air is going to look fantastic. Sounds like Southwest might have beat in Iceland. Get another look at flight radar for you guys. They did. Iceland had to go way out there, so there's a couple of flights in between. We've got Southwest 1892 coming in from BP. 737-700, 48 minutes of flight time so far for the 700. We also have NextJet, FlexJet, somebody. FlexJet coming in from Austin, Texas, behind that one. Bombardier Challenger 350 there for that following arrival. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about the Cancun route too for Aeromexico. Look forward to seeing their MAX 8. I think it's pretty good. I'm glad they finally did it again. It's been rumored for years and years and years and years. Aer Lingus coming to RDU. I'm glad they were finally able to make it happen. Again, like I said a minute ago, sadly it is on an XLR, but I just I didn't think that was going to be that big of a route, honestly. And of course, obviously it's not if they're going to do just the XLR, right? Like if they were going to do the, say, the A350 or whatever, or A330, then maybe, but I don't know. I think it'll work out. That's true. I forgot about Nashville being one of their hubs there. Southwest peeking out there, ready to roll.
Cleared to land, runway, or FlexJet.
Couldn't ask for better lighting this evening either. That looks absolutely fantastic. RDU, if any of you guys are watching, we need an observation place on the west side of the new runway. So we can have these fantastically lit shots this late in the evening. Alright, so FlexJet coming in from Austin. That's our next arrival right there. The one you're seeing swooping around behind it, JetBlue 2783 coming in from Boston, Mass. An A320-200. We also have, so Iceland's going to be number 2 behind this one. We also have the FedEx ATRs. Hey, there's Greg. FedEx in their ATRs. Going to be the big one first. Good looking plane. Alright, on to Iceland, that 737 MAX 9. That next arrival here. Iceland 821 coming in from Reykjavik, 737 MAX 9, 6 hours, 22 minutes of flight time. for this one. So Aviation LA, I'm definitely going to try to be here for Aer Lingus. Aero Mexico, we didn't really do, they won't have another inaugural since we already have Aero Mexico here. But I try to get all of the inaugurals. I didn't do Bermuda, I didn't do Aero Mexico, and I didn't do... I didn't do WestJet either, but I did get Air France as well as Lufthansa's inaugural flights. Beautiful shot of Iceland. So, with that being said, I tried to come out here for all of them. Aer Lingus, that's going to be a late afternoon flight on a Monday, right? So it's going to be, it'll be arriving right after all of the other big international flights depart. So next arrival is going to be that JetBlue 2783. We'll swing back around to that one as it gets a little bit closer here. So JetBlue, (1 hour, 34 minutes of flight time for the A320 here. Go to the ATRs here in just a moment. Look at the first one from coming in from Newbern. It's going to be Mountain Air Cargo 7503 FedEx feeder. Coming in from Newbern, 32 minutes of flight time for the ATR 72600. So the bigger of the two. So if you guys are just joining us right there at the top of the screen, you can see the big no X there, indicating the runway closure. Down for heavy maintenance. It's going to go on through October. Hopefully it doesn't last into November. So again, if you guys are just joining us, runway closure right there behind, just beyond the American. Another thing, we haven't mentioned it yet this evening, make sure your notifications are set to all for the shows. Again, receiving emails from folks stating that they're not getting notified about the show. So make sure you guys select them to all. This is not our ATR. This one's not on Flight Radar. 141 likes. Thank you, ERB, for that update. trying to get to 200 likes. If you guys haven't liked yet, please do so. Beach King Air 350 there. There's our ATR 600. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do.
505, runway 5 right, clear line. 5 is clear line. Track 664, hold short, runway 5 right, remain this frequency. Just verify clear track 664, hold short, 5 right.
So Iceland should be going to their normal seat gate between C24 and 22, somewhere around in there, I think, or 18 and 24. So they should be right on the end of the terminal, Terminal 2 there.
Here over there.
Good shot of our ATR this evening. A319 and A321 finally getting a move on over here on this side. Those two about to head up the hill here for departure.
45 spots, structure to take the 2 with it. That's 645, yep, power. Sorry. Yep. Power, good evening, wind 0505, runway 32, clear line. Clear line, 32, track 664.
Danielle, good evening. Alright, so our next arrival, who do we got here? Who do we got? It's going to be Endeavor 5232 coming in from LaGuardia, another New York flight. 1 hour, 25 minutes of flight time for the CRJ.
This is 913 Raleigh, start, continue runway 5 right. 5 right. Below 4 Fox, hold short runway.
See you, ERB. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Going out the, just to the right, and now out the ground, point out of 6.
Got another United sitting over here. The 737. This JetBlue gets ready to enter their gate. Yeah, I'm going to have a hard time seeing the departures anyway because of not only the lamppost itself, but the light coming off the lamppost. I can't tell if anybody's over there lined up, ready to go, or anything. So, again, arrivals going to be our main deal this evening, given runway directions and runway closures. I think they do a little something. It depends. I can't remember what they did for any of the other airlines. I think one of them was like donuts or something. I can't remember exactly. I'd like to go to one of those events, but I didn't go to the one today. It would have been interesting to go to the announcement today. Try to do a live stream of that. We have done some shows from inside. NetJet's our next arrival. Cessna Citation Latitude. This one coming in from Minneapolis. American 1894, I believe, headed back to Charlotte.
It's a 913 Alpha 4 Alpha ground point 9 will fit. Alpha 4 Alpha ground point 9. Track 326 cross the right 5 right at Charlie ground point 9.
He lined up really far back compared to some of the other departures here a moment ago.
5 right, line up and make United 6 and 2. November 79 Top Alpha, hold short runway 5 right at Charlie.
Rail Stalker, good evening. October 3rd. What are we doing an inaugural for on October 3rd? It won't be for Mexico. They're already here. It'll just be a new route. Looks like United's up there ready to go as well. They're hitting the runway there again. Like I said before, tonight's not about departures, it's about arrivals. Man, it's almost 8 o'clock already. Doesn't feel like it. Mother Nature's still putting on quite the show. Just to the west. So American 1894 is in fact headed off to Charlotte. Oh, breeze to Key West. Yeah, that'll be a new flight. Inaugurals are generally new airlines, so they won't do anything special for a new route usually. Sometimes they will, depending on where it is, but usually announce it. I did see they had a big announcement thing. Different things. There you go. Passes out assorted drinks and pizza. Yeah, I don't know if it. Well, that's true. They are technically inaugural, but yeah, I don't know what they'll decide to do. As we get our A319 United rolling. Speaking of United, we've got that other one over here. The Sunset still putting on quite a show. That's probably the best looking part there, and the camera doesn't. I guess the camera does kind of do it justice. Right there. And I could go for some pizza right now. I'm hungry. Yes, sir. Apple cobbler, apple pie. Definitely some of my favorites on the list. Peach cobbler's good. Got a couple of CRJs switching positions here. That's what you guys are hearing currently. A couple of Deltas. As the sun is officially going down on us. Double CRJ action for the folks that enjoy the CRJs. I think there's another one probably getting pulled out. That's why this one is yet to move. Tactical Lima, I know, I have the same problem. We get folks on here talking about food, and when your host hasn't had dinner yet, because I come straight from work out here to the airport. These Wednesday night shows, boy, you guys kill me talking about the food and the desserts and stuff. So Tactical Lima, I'm right there with her. 150 likes. Thank you guys for smashing the like button. It's our normal 8 o'clock slowdown here. we've got a couple of general aviation arrivals, and we've got another Mountain Air Cargo 7508 coming in from Miss Ramona Town, Wilmington. That's going to be the ATR 42-300, the smaller of the two ATRs here tonight. That one about 12 minutes away as of right now. Looks like we've got Frontier and Breeze coming in here shortly. Frontier 1670 coming in about 15 minutes. Coming up from Atlanta. So a few minutes here before we get back into the action. Gonna stay for that MD-11 departure. I know not really ideal for departures tonight, but that'll be a great last plane as always. That's the one we always tend to end on here on Wednesdays. Same, Blickfang, same. Getting dark early is really not my thing. Wintertime for me is a big no-go. Really, I didn't think you could despise a season as much as I hate wintertime. I love the holidays, don't get me wrong, but the season of winter just, ugh. Even as a kid, I hated it. Especially growing up, you know, where I grew up, all they had no green vegetation, no pine trees like we have here, so it constantly looked like, I don't know, like death. It was gray, just, awful. So wintertime's definitely not one of our favorite times of the year. We do have another CRJ down there below us starting up. You guys can kind of hear that.
Delta 220, contact approach the early day.
I think yesterday would have been a fantastic day for shows. I don't know how many of you guys are local to the area, but with the wind yesterday, unfortunately I had prior engagements. I had a doctor's appointment to end out my afternoon. I was thinking about it mid-afternoon. I was like, man, today would be a really nice day. We had quite a significant amount of wind yesterday, so nice and breezy out here. I only think of that because it's nice and breezy right now. It's actually quite cool out here. Yeah, we'll see. Okay. All right. So, hear me out. You guys that live where it snows, wintertime could be fantastic for you guys, in my opinion, right? So here, to us, wintertime is useless because it's cold and it doesn't snow. So it's like, it's not fair. Why is it cold and we don't get any snow? So that's one of the things about wintertime that drives me insane, is just the fact that we don't see any snow here. So, you know, I feel like it's cold for no reason. be snowed in up to my eyeballs? Absolutely not. Would I like to see a good, considerable amount of snow? Yes. But that's just something we don't see, unfortunately. Thank you, Lynn. Have a wonderful evening. I know late for you over there. Thank you for hanging out with us, staying awake as long as possible. Appreciate that. Congratulations, Miss Carolina, gifting a membership.
Okay, 636, Raleigh, Center, Canadian, 10506, on line 32, quarter line.
32, quarter line, line 636.
Touch and goes right now. Oh, man. Does anybody remember the night we had the C-130s? I think there were two of them. Had a couple C-130s doing touch and goes. He probably did 10 or 11 touch and goes out here that night. That was lots of fun. Not often do we see the military stuff. What's up, Brian? So one CRJ out, one in. So we get started here again with arrivals. Looks like we're going to have an exec jet here. Private owner. Matt Man gifting one Carolina Aviation A380 Chaser. So we'll give this CRJ a minute here. Shot's going to be with all the light pollution between us and the runway. Last Wednesday we had that same problem, so we'll see how it goes. Ryan's soothing that baby to sleep with with some airplanes. Good to see you, Ryan. Glad to see you're back, by the way.
runway 5 right, clear to land.
Clear to land 5 right, mountain 7508.
All right, so here comes our FedEx ATR, the last one of the night.
Alpha ground point 9 are gonna.
One coming in from Wilmington. The last of the FedExes.
Protect 636, keep them moving, cross runway 5 right at Charlie, traffic on a 2 mile pump.
5 right at Charlie.
34 minutes of flight time between here and Wilmington. Going to be followed by that Frontier and a Breeze Airways.
Ground point 9, have a good night. District 3404, right, runway 5 right, line of flight, traffic 5 mile pump. On him away, runway 5 right, Blue Street 404. South 75, turn up at Alpha 4, right on Alpha ground point 9, have a good night.
South 4 right on Alpha, and over to ground point 9 mountain 7508, have a good night.
Alright, so the next arrival is going to be that Frontier. Coming in from Atlanta, Frontier 1670. 59 minutes of flight time.
District 3404, flight heading 035, wind 0406, 785 right, set to take off.
Super takeoff at 5 right, Raleigh heading to District 15404.
District 5404, on departure flighting 035.
035, District 15404.
District 1670, wind 0506, runway 5 right, set to
Runway 5 right, Frontier 765, 5 right.
735 outside, easy wind 0506, runway 5 right, set to
5 right, 765.
District 5404, contact departure, have a good one.
What about District 5404?
Oh my goodness. You know, one of these days you're going to come in here and you're going to say something. I'm going to put it up on the screen. As you know, I got the ability to do that. It's a nice, peaceful Wednesday evening. So again, exactly 1 hour, 1 minute for Frontier from Atlanta. Clover the deer fawn on board. Frontier here. United's sitting over here ready to go again. Light pollution's going to be insane right there. Got all these lights between us and the runway over there.
700 right there, good evening, winds 040, 501, 32, flight 1670, Alpha 5, Alpha Delta, ground point 9. Alpha 5, Alpha Delta, ground point 9, Frontier flight 1670.
So the next arrival is going to be that breeze. We've got Delta to the east or Delta to the west, American to the east, making their way in here. The next arrival, though, is going to be Moxie 755 coming in from Pensacola, Florida. Another A220-300. Still with the United over there.
And Alpha, monitor ground point 9.
So we had the 777-200 land earlier in the day. They're already gone back to London there, Timothy. We did have the Dreamliner earlier today as well. So the nonstop to Bermuda started back early spring. We don't see it here on the show because it's an early morning flight on Friday morning. I don't know what other days of the week it comes, but that's because we don't get the chance to see it, so I don't follow it too much. But we do have Bermuda Airways that flies back and forth a few days a week. So this arrival is going to be Delta. No, this is Air Canada, excuse me. Jazz 838, Air Canada coming in from Toronto. 1 hour 19 minutes of flight time, the E175. Frontier is making their way around the corner. Gotta stick with Air Canada here though, already on it. No A380s, not here. I wish. It'd be fantastic. We need to get back up to Dulles. I enjoy seeing those A380s and the 747-8s, A350s. We got to try to get back up to Dulles at some point. here getting ready to make their way into the gate. Yeah, I agree with you, Matt, man. Best taillight logo at night. Republic Airways 4618 coming in from LaGuardia. It's going to be our next arrival. 1 hour, 27 minutes of flight time. Be another E175 LR. Yep, Albug, they'll be here April 13th, 2026. Thank you to Ramona, our good friend Ramona. $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Ramona. Dulles road trip fund. I know. I had such a blast in Dulles back in July. Need to, again, I need to get back up there. Really enjoyed DC. Got a 737 pushing back. Delta gonna put this one over here along the thing so they can stay the night. Yeah, I need some more DC in my life. At some point. Gotta get all the personal things worked out here. So again, Republic Airways 4618 coming in from LaGuardia. 1 hour, 30 minutes of flight time for this one. Again, apologies for the light pollution there. Not too many choices tonight for spots. To set up. So they are, in fact, putting this one over here, getting it ready for tomorrow. I'm going to spend the night. Next arrival, Delta 1518 coming in from Atlanta, Georgia. So far, 50 minutes, probably about 55 minutes of flight time for the 737 here. We got another United. Speaking of Washington Dulles, United 1322 coming in here in about 3 minutes. It's going to be another A319. Had a United departure over on the other side. United 2645 heading in Newark, New Jersey. So Iceland Air will be departing here. We've got the A320 down there of Frontier still waiting to get to their gate. Again, this one going over here to be put to bed.
Runway heading 5 right, take off.
So Delta 1518. flown United. Flown Delta, JetBlue, Frontier. Yet to fly American or United. Flown Southwest as well too. Being zoomed in there. I was having a little bit of an issue with the tripod here. Had to re-level it. So United 1322 going to be our next arrival. Again, coming in from Washington Dulles, A319. Quick look at radar here, see what we got. We've got American 1982 coming in from Los Angeles. Now, why I'm having such an issue with the tripod this evening. Tripod's had all kinds of issues here. So that one ready to go for tomorrow. Check some flight radar here, see what we got. Will you be streaming Sunday? I'm heading out mid-afternoon. I should be here. Unless something happens, Drew, I should be here. Hopefully nothing will happen. I'm supposed to be headed to Virginia on Saturday morning. Don't know what time I'll be back. Saturday evening. And I should be here on Sunday. Unless I have a meeting. I'd have to do it. If I do have that meeting, I gotta talk it over with upper management here. She wants me at some meeting on Sunday. It's like right in the middle of the afternoon. Alright, we got something.
9, hold short runway 5 right at chart. Hold short 5 right at chart.
On final here, I don't know what that is. It's not on my radar. No landing lights. There's a landing light.
Raleigh Tower, attention 241 Charlie Juliet, we're inbound visual 5 right.
Attention 241 Charlie Juliet, Raleigh Tower, good evening, 10505, runway 5 right, clear line.
Runway 5 right, 1 Charlie Juliet.
Clear 2032, ready to go, bye-bye. Just flight 72 right, tower, good evening, just 2 minutes or 2. Roger.
Started an A220 over here on the other side.
6 November Sierra, turn right on Alpha, ground point 9, good night. Left on Alpha, ground point 9, or 6 over Sierra. Oh yes sir, after, yeah, right turn on Alpha. Alright, right turn on Alpha, 6 over Sierra. Just do it, Alpha right, 5 right at Charlie, ground point 9. Alpha 5 right at Charlie, contact ground 9, Juliet.
See what that is. Hold on. They've come over this way and they've stopped. Looks like a little Cessna parked out over there. Thought maybe it would be something a little more exciting. Private owner Cessna Citation CJ3 will be our next arrival. That's coming in from Ashtabula? I don't know. Bula. JFN is the airport code for where this one came from. John Southwell. Got the jokes? Thank you for entertaining the chat. I'm gonna take one, I'm gonna skip out on that one. He's teeny tiny. Looks like we got a Frontier up there at the top of the hill. I'm going to take a quick look at flight radar here. I don't really have anything exciting here. So, I'm going to take a walk here in just a second, see if Iceland's pushed back yet. Don't know what time they're supposed to depart here. This Frontier tries to get a move on. For Reed, good evening. Dude, I can't hardly touch my tripod at the moment. Like, 2 of my legs are messed up, it looks like. Come on, Frontier. Got the Delta 1820 getting ready to head up the hill. This Frontier finally makes a run for it. So the A220's headed up the hill. Frontier 2072 off to Philadelphia. Let's take a quick look at the departure board here. Let's see when Iceland's going to roll. Hopefully they roll here shortly. 8:30. So I think we'll stay for Iceland's departure. I don't know if we're going to stay for the MD-11. Not a whole lot happening between now and the MD-11 departure. Again, the light pollution's not making for really great content either, and there's nothing I can do about moving either. So again, apologies for not the greatest content this evening. Again, the light pollution here. I tried to get you guys the heavy departures this afternoon. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out for those this evening. Doing our normal Wednesday thing, just not in our favor here. Wind on the 5s here of late, and the runway closure, unfortunately. Again, runway closure expected through October. So Wednesday shows are going to, any day, if we pick any day of the week, it doesn't matter what day it's going to be. It's going to be messed up like this. So we got the Delta A220 off to Boston. Again, I don't have too many more arrivals here. Let's go check on Iceland. I wonder if I can see Iceland from here. Peek through the railing. Oh, they're working down at the other end tonight. They're way down at the other end of the runway this evening. Iceland's yet to push. Yeah, they're all the way down at the other end of the runway tonight. ATC changed on its own. I'm still learning the radio. Again, I didn't really know too much about the original one we had. We had about the same one. Just never really got too familiar with it. So, looks like we got Republic Airways 4884 coming in from JFK. Again, having some slight issues here with our tripod, so bear with me. Might take it in tonight, work on it before Sunday. About time to service the tripod here. Well, I think I'm going to call it here, you guys. I know we normally like to wait for Iceland and the MD-11. I just don't have a whole lot else to bring you guys this evening. So we're going to go ahead and call it here. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Greatly appreciate you guys coming in, hanging out. Again, sorry things couldn't be better with the runway closure. Again, that is scheduled until October, sadly. So once all that's finished, we'll get things back to normal here. No real good place. As you guys, now I've shown you 2 weeks in a row, 5 left. You guys have seen 2-3 right, 2-3 left. If we're at the north end of the parking garage, of course we have wonderful shots of arrivals on both sides. Down here we do not. So, again, I want to thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for all of the support, just being with us on this Wednesday evening. Glad I could bring you guys the ATC back. As you guys can hear, there's not a whole lot of ATC chatter. Hopefully it didn't change channels on its own again. Again, I got to learn that too. So we'll see you guys hopefully on Sunday. We'll be back Sunday, as long as I don't have any meetings. So have a great rest of your week, folks. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you, guys. Good night.